Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And yeah, CNN, they're firing a bunch of people, laying a bunch of people off amid a ratings crisis. And then they're also going to build a new streaming service, which they tried before.
Right, but you're going to hire people for.
Right.
So they laid off a bunch of people, and now they're going to turn around and hire a bunch of people. So it's going about as well as you'd expect.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about this because there are going to be a lot of changes in the mainstream media, and it seems like everybody's racing to try to compete. Well, two things. And we talked about before we recorded. They're trying to compete with YouTubers. They're trying to compete with podcasters. And simultaneously, I think the owners of these networks are trying to get rid of potentially problematic people that are going to be a pain in the ass for the next 4 years, people that were a pain in the ass before. And this is how it works, guys. We've talked about this before. A lot of times when I would say a studio or a company is overrun with a bunch of activists or people who have clear political bias, they will use the excuse of an economic downturn to get rid of people that are just a pain in the ass. And we've seen it across the board. Hollywood, we've seen it in publishing, we've seen it in tech. And yeah, sometimes it's like, oh, guys, macroeconomic headwinds. We have to lay off like 10% of our staff.
Yeah.
And they just happen to be all the people that you would expect that nobody got along with, that were always looking for problems.
Or they cost too much or something. So they
they cost too much or unionized. Yeah. So let's talk about it before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
This version's coming from the Daily Beast, but CNN actually had to write its own obituary too, which was kind of crazy. But let's look at the Beast version here. CNN to fire hundreds of staff amid ratings crisis. Mm-hmm. The network has already faced layoffs and falling ratings in the last year. They all are, right? They're going to lay
so did MSNBC, so they spun it off into its own thing to unload it.
Right. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about MSNBC because apparently Trump wants it off the air. I don't think he's going to have to do anything. I think they're gonna wind up off the air on their own if they keep it.
Yeah, probably. But you can't really demand that either. We want freedom of speech, but you shut them down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't agree with that. It's like, come on. Anyway, CNN's going to lay off hundreds of employees on Thursday, capping off a year of financial struggles and falling ratings as the network seeks to pivot toward a digital future. They did this before.
Yes. Then they spend it was like $500 million, and then they shut it down within a month.
Yeah, that was actually one of the first things Zaslav did. They had CNN, I think it was like CNN Plus or something like that. It was CNN Plus. And I was like, you could have given us $1 million. We would have told you it was a bad idea, and you could have saved yourself $499 million. It's so weird. They said the exact number of Thursday's layoffs, which were first reported by CNBC, is unclear. They will not impact CNN's marquee talent, which include Jake Tapper, Caitlin Collins, and Anderson Cooper, according to CNBC. But they are getting rid of, I guess, Jim Acosta, who does not get along with Donald Trump very well. So they're booting him out the door. They said
we can go work for MSNBC.
Yeah, he can go work for MSNBC. Yeah. There you go, guys. Go start a podcast or something. The cuts come as CEO Mark Thompson has set his sights on digital as CNN's next frontier. And they said, yeah, CNN's website launched a $3.99 paywall in October, months after laying off 100 employees. I noticed that you go to the CNN website, and like all these news sites now, I get that they're scrambling to try to make money because they've got a mandate to make money. But every damn site you go to, it's got the ad blocker on it. It's got the sign up for the newsletter. It's got paywalled content. Every other article is paywalled now. And it's like, how many people do you really think are going to pay for something that has historically been free?
Right, because you trained them to come in for free. And the thing is, they could just go to Google and get a snippet anyway.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah. And in fact, you go to CNN now, it's so damn weird. You go to CNN and for all this talk of like, we're against using AI. They're like, do you just want a summary of this article via AI? Just push a button and it'll tell you like in one paragraph what's actually going on.
As long as you paid that $3.99 though, right?
I think you have to pay the $3.99. Yeah. So it's like, well, then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to just replacing these people completely, right? I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, so let's go out to the Verge. Verge has this because this was your takeaway, Geeky, was that they already had a streaming network. They went all in on this thing for like a month or two, and then they pulled the plug.
It was a month. I think it was like a month. $500 million.
$500 million. This comes from The Verge. CNN is building a new streaming service nearly 3 years after killing the last one. In the internal memo shared with The Verge, CNN CEO Mark Thompson said the service is going to give viewers the ability to stream news programming from us on any device they choose. Well, that's
or as part of a broader restructuring plan.
That's never been done before.
No.
You've never been able to stream news wherever you're at on whatever device. Oh, my God.
I think it's another case of like we're seeing with The View where they're trying to compete with the people that are replacing them.
Right. Yeah, it says that they jumped on the bandwagon in 2022 with the launch of CNN Plus, a short-lived service that shut down after a month.
Yep.
Thompson doesn't say whether the new service will mirror the content on the linear channel or if it will stick to original programming similar to CNN Plus. Again, yeah, you're right.
Why would you do the same thing, though? Why would you do the same thing you did before?
They never gave it a chance. They never gave it a chance.
Well, that was weird, wasn't it? $500 million, and they only gave it a month. It never made sense.
I mean, usually something like that, if you're going to spend that much money, you're at least going to give it a year or two, right? Because we invested this much.
There's words for that. Oh, yeah, write down.
Write down.
That's when he started doing all the write downs.
Yeah, Zaslav came in and he was just like, nope, gone. It's like, dude, you didn't really think this one through. Because I think he also thought, well, if I turn that off, we can focus all of our energy on HBO Max or whatever. And it's like, and now it's just, people buy a Roku TV and Tubi's got news and Roku's got news and they don't have to pay for it.
Heck, Tubi, I think, is going to run the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right? I mean,
so I'm like,
good luck with that. Good luck with that. It says it's early days, but we've already established there's immense demand for it, not just in America, but across much of the world. I don't think there is. Where? We'll have more to say.
I picked up a couple rocks and it said, do it. Magic 8 Ball said, this is so. We'll have more to say about this new digital product in the coming months, including content plans and how we will work with our existing and future distribution partners to bring this to market. Okay, distribution partners. So I don't know if they're just talking about what's probably gonna happen is they'll have it, but it might be that like you get this as an add-on or something to. Well, they're having the deals, they all were teaming up for different ways. Like Warner Brothers was one of the ones teaming up with Disney for different things for sport. They were trying to for sports and stuff. So it's probably another cross promotion they'll roll out later.
Yeah,
you can add it if you buy this, and this or something.
What they're doing is they are flipping the hell out because we've been covering this and it's affected us too. I mean, we have websites. We've had websites for years. We know people that have run websites longer than we have that have just had their livelihoods completely decimated. But the ad revenue is running out. Right? Google's not sending traffic to websites like they used to. People aren't watching cable TV like they used to, and they're freaking out. They're like, oh my God, we got these rocks and we got to get as much blood out of them as we can. Right. But I don't think this is going to work. I think it's going to backfire because people are going to be like, who the hell is going to pay separate for CNN? Like for freaking CNN of all things, CNN. The reason people paid for the podcast and they paid for the right-wing voices, I believe, is because all the news was predominantly left-wing. So to have a counterbalance, you basically had to bankroll that yourself, right? So people would pay for whatever podcast or, Patreon or whatever to hear alternative voices. And if you're CNN, you're the most mainstream thing out there. Who the hell is going to pay for that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the problem they keep running into, isn't it?
Right. They said, as part of the changes, they're going to lay off 6% of jobs, about 200 people, but then they're going to hire a bunch of people to run this streaming service.
Right. Yeah. So I saw that and I was like, okay, wait a minute. This is not going to go well. You just got done laying off people, but you're going to have to hire like half that amount of people back, but not those people. Which.
Yeah. They said apparently Warner Brothers put $70 million in investment in the CNN. That's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things.
Not the $500 million they put in before.
God, the news of a revived CNN streaming service comes as linear TV networks grapple with the growing shift towards streaming. CNN, which airs a 24/7 news broadcast on Max, recently announced it's locking some of its articles behind a paywall. Yes, I've run into that. I've run into that. Along with CNN, CNBC also launched a $14.99 a month CNBC Plus subscription.
Okay, so instead of them being part of Max or whatever, they're trying to each give themselves their own subscription price. People aren't going to pay it. People are already subscriptioned out with streaming services and stuff. They're already paying for Max, and that's part of your brand. Then it should be on Max. You shouldn't pay for it separately. I mean, I'm sure it's probably the written version. I'm assuming, not the streaming channel.
Yeah, that's what
but still, I'm just like, come on.
So weird. Like, you can't. People are already having a hard enough time with 55 different streaming services, right? They're already cutting out streaming services that they don't need,
and they keep raising prices.
And they keep raising the prices. Do you really think people are going to pay extra? This person here said that they only have two audiences, old people in airports for CNN. Steve here says it'll surely work this time.
Yes,
Max
exactly.
exists.
Right, Steve?
Yeah, why is this even considered? It's just, it doesn't make any damn sense. But apparently they are not putting Jim Acosta. He's been left off the programming schedule. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But let's talk about MSNBC, because that's another failing cable news network. Apparently, Trump wants it shut down because they criticized
they put up in all the colors of the
NBC.
The peacock. That's funny.
I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, I'm like, look, as long as you're not saying anything defamatory, you're allowed to let people voice their opinions, even if their opinions are dumb.
You can't say, I'm for free speech. People should be allowed to say what they want to say, and then say, but except for you, MSNBC. I mean, I get it. MSNBC makes you dumber, but you can't say you're for free speech and try to keep it only for certain people, because that's the same thing that happened before, and you're just the same coin, different side, and you're supposed to be doing better than that.
I don't think he's going to have to do anything. I think natural attrition and Darwinism will take care of them. But
I'm curious to see what the numbers are for their new, what was it, Trump land or whatever. And all that.
The Trump land. Yeah, that's why he's pissed about it, I think.
I'm curious to see how that's going. I'm also curious to see who they ask. Like, we're gonna go around and we're gonna ask. I want to see who they ask and where they go.
Right. We're gonna talk to people in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you watch? So he said MSDNC is even worse than CNN. They shouldn't have a right to broadcast, only in America. Well, again, I think Darwinism is working its way through the legacy media, and if there's no audience, there's no network, there's no news, right? If people aren't paying for it now, because now they want the consumer to pay for it directly. Before it used to be the advertising. Now the advertisers don't give a shit. They're going to where the eyeballs are. So there's that, and then let's talk about meteorologists. So a meteorologist apparently got fired. We're talking about the news, right? So a Milwaukee meteorologist got fired because he spoke out against Elon Musk's quote unquote Nazi salute, and he got booted from CBS.
They're probably afraid they're gonna get sued.
Well, that's probably it. Yeah. I mean, why is the meteorologist making jokes or making observations about Musk's salute? But yes, this is a WDJT-TV. He's no longer employed there. Sam Kuffel, news director, wrote in a staff memo. A search for a replacement is underway. Says profile has been removed from the news station's website, according to it's a him? It's a her. It's a her.
It's a her.
Okay, according to her LinkedIn account, Kuffel worked at CBS 58 since December 2019. So you just flushed 5 or 6 years of your career down the toilet. Was it worth it?
What would she do it on air? Did she do it? I don't understand.
Oh, no, it was Instagram. Okay, an Instagram story later posted to X by conservative radio host Dan O'Connell. Kuffel captioned an image of Musk. Dude Nazi saluted twice during the inauguration. You F with this and this man. I don't F with you, full stop.
Here's the problem. If you're somebody that's in a position of you're like the meteorologist or the news anchor or something like that, you can't be going around saying that stuff, especially when it's not been, confirmed. This is how people keep getting sued.
Yeah. So apparently, she was kind of going on. It's just she was going on a bender on her Instagram. You have to, you have to realize if you're doing a job like that and the station is trying to keep it middle of the road, you can't be out there. And I've seen people in comics that are running with this thing too. And I'm like,
now, see, here's the thing, like the difference between this person and like Gina Carano was Gina Carano just put up a post and never swore at people, never said F off and stuff like that. And then she got fired. And this person's flat out telling people, to F off. So, it's not surprising they got canned.
Yeah,
that's a difference there.
If you told them as part of your employment, hey, you can't get hyper political on your social media. And a lot of companies now, because of the climate that we're in, they do have a social media policy that you have to agree to. And if she was told you don't get hyper political on your personal account because it reflects on the station, and she did it, then yeah, she gets shit canned. That's what happens. So this is Byron Allen, and what did he buy? He was looking to buy something not too long ago. I think it was it CNN? I don't know. Anyway, so he's getting rid of a bunch of meteorologists and replacing them with the Weather Channel. He said,
so that's probably because it's cheaper. It's probably
cheaper.
Like a deal. It's cheaper. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that's what they're going to do, which really sucks because then you're only getting one opinion on the weather.
Well, that's what's going to happen though. So just all the way across the board, what is going to happen is that if these news stations can't pull their own weight, right, and people aren't paying to subscribe to them, their corporate owners are just gonna pipe in canned generic news, and a lot of it might even be AI generated canned generic news. But yeah, so they bought I guess he bought the Weather Channel, and he's just replacing all the meteorologists at all of his networks, all of his stations, and we're just going to pipe in the Weather Channel. That's what's going to happen. So I mean, at this point, if your station owner is telling you don't do XYZ thing if you want to keep your job, guess what? You're very, very, very replaceable. Everybody's replaceable. And if you want to give your hot takes, then you're going to have to go start a podcast or a Substack or something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy. I used to work for Clear Channel Radio back in the day. I was actually the web developer for a cluster of stations, but they were bringing in, it was the Profit system back then. And I remember the local DJs getting super excited about it. They're like, this is great. Like, if I can't make it to work because of the snow, I can work from home and they can pipe it in. And I'm like, yeah, or they could just, pipe it in from like Arkansas, and they don't need you. Which is what
they end up doing.
Which is what they end up doing. I know a lot of the stations around here, they don't have any local personalities. They just pipe it in from Texas or something. I don't know where the hell these people come from. But anyway, there we go. We're going to wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Let's wrap it up. You look bored. We're going to wrap it up.
Yes, I thought this should have ended like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.